All right, we are back at the components. We have overtime spreadsheet complete. So next is equipment accountability. Click on that, read the instructions, and then click edit to answer the equipment question, yes or no. If the answer is no, click save in the upper right-hand corner, then click mark as complete, and then you would move forward to the next component. If the answer is yes, you do have equipment this month, you're going to answer that and then click save in the upper right corner. In the equipment accountability report box, click add to enter your equipment information. Select your equipment item from the drop-down menu and continue to complete each of the remaining fields. So we are entering an in-car camera with a price of $52.30. It was actually acquired on in October of 2020. The date the equipment is required should be the exact day the equipment was received. If it is close to the end of the state fiscal year on June 30th or the end of the federal fiscal year, September 30th, GTSB may need to request additional information. NHTSA likes to see that the equipment is purchased at the beginning of each federal fiscal year so that it can be used for traffic enforcement throughout the entire grant year. If this cannot happen, you can save yourself some extra work if you purchase your equipment no later than the end of May. Please note, absolutely all equipment must be received in-house at your agency no later than July 31st. There are no exceptions to this contract requirement. Let's take a look at unit price. So when calculating unit price, divide your total invoice cost by the number of pieces of equipment that you ordered. This includes any shipping and additional components to the main unit. This is a change from previous years. For example, if your invoice total is $52.30 for one camera, $52.30 divided by 1 is $52.30. This is what gets entered into the unit price field. Once you've answered all of the remaining questions, click Save in the upper right-hand corner. Now click Add in the right-hand corner of the equipment serial box. Select your equipment from the drop-down menu and continue to complete each of the remaining fields. When entering grant funds applied, note that the grant funds applied cannot exceed the amount the agency was awarded in the contract. In this case, the camera cost $52.30. However, the maximum grant funds applied is capped at $4,500 because that's what was awarded in the contract. At the other end of the spectrum, let's consider a purchase of PBTs. The calculated unit price was $385 per PBT. The agency in the contract was awarded $450 per PBT. So therefore, the grant funds applied box is only $385 because that's what the agency paid, not the $450. So when you are finished, click Save. If you have additional equipment on a separate invoice that you are claiming, you can repeat those steps, starting with Add in the Equipment Accountability report box. When you have finished entering all of the pieces of equipment, write down your equipment reimbursement total. You will need this later in the process. Click Mark as Complete. Set your required documentation aside, and you will upload them later in the process. This would include the invoice, the proof of payment, and the pictures of the serial numbers that you are used to submitting.